Hi, welcome back to AGB Art. Today in the studio we are up to no good at all. We are combining a couple of techniques and a couple of recipes and breaking all the rules. So if you enjoy the video, please press the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'm starting out the traditional way of preparing canvases using these jumbo push pins, which help get the canvas up off the table, and then also taping the backs of them to keep the backs clean. I have a brand new can of Valspar wall paint that I got at my Lowe's, and it's pre-mixed, ultra white. It can be lumpy, so be sure you stir well. I'm mixing it with American Floetrol at 1 part paint to 2 parts Floetrol, and then I'm adding a little bit of water to make sure my consistency is correct. I normally have a recipe of 1 part paint to 2 parts Floetrol and then water for consistency, but in today's video we're breaking the rules. Now with the base paint I did do that recipe, but for the colors, and I use these clear cups just because they're easy for me to hold, for the colors I'm adding mostly water. This particular paint doesn't do well for me with Floetrol, so I only add a little bit of water and I tend to keep it thicker. Arteza Van Dyke Brown, I bought it on Amazon. This is a bright blue that I normally like, but I didn't like it for this painting. Here's another rule breaker. I'm using a cell activator. That's right. I'm breaking down and mixing up my own Aussie Floetrol to try to get some cells in this swipe. Now, when I get comfortable with my recipe, I will share it in a YouTube video. But for now, I have mixed Mars Black with a couple of drops of this pre-stain wood conditioner from Minwax. That small can only cost about $5 or $6 at the hardware store. And then I'm using a white PVA glue. I bought this particular brand because I was copying somebody's recipe on YouTube and I wanted the exact ingredient. But I'm sure any white PVA glue will work. Okay, here is that bright blue. And I thought that is just too bright with my other colors. So I added about 1/8 of a teaspoon of Payne's Gray to it and got this more muted color that I liked better. That one was mixed with Floetrol and water. I'm using a repurposed spray bottle. It's got water in it, and I will spray water on strips of paper towel in order to do the swipe. And we're ready to do the base paint. I like to make a square towards the outside of the canvas because I want to make sure to get all of the corners covered and the sides. And again, that base paint was wall paint from Lowe's hardware store, and it was mixed with 1 part paint, 2 parts Floetrol, and a little bit of water. I use my blow dryer to spread the base paint, and I'm stepping way back because I don't know if you can see on those shorts. A couple months ago, I was doing this exact same thing and sprayed white paint all over the shorts. So here I was just trying to keep myself from getting covered in paint. I get most of the canvas covered. There's a couple of spots I didn't, so I stuck my finger in to just sort of spread the paint a little bit. I mean, it was a minuscule amount that did not cover. And then I'll use my finger to wipe down the sides of the canvas, making sure those corners are covered. And that's when I realize I'm breaking another one of my rules. No handy dandy paper towel. There you go. Look up, up. What do? Ay, caramba. I have to go and get paper towel and I'm off frame. That's the thing about paint. It's wet. It gets on your hands and then you're stuck. I'm using my culinary torch to pop out any air bubbles. And then I'm going to start drizzling the paints onto the canvas, and I've decided to do sort of a horizontal line. That's the Van Dyke brown. I really like the super dark brown in it. It's just really pretty. And this is the medium brown. I ended up taking that color and adding just a bit of Van Dyke brown to it to make it a little darker. And it seems like everything I'm picking up today has wet paint on it. Now it's time for the gold. This is the Decoart Gold that is mixed with water only. I don't know what it is about that brand, but when I try to put Floetrol in it, it just totally takes the shine out. Now it's time for the blue. I'm a huge fan of brown and blue together. And I'm thinking about this color. I guess I do put some on there. This is a funky brown. It's more like pumpkin. I'm not a huge orange fan. And I'm going to torch now to see if I get any air bubbles out and to see if any cells pop up. It also gives me a break in time to think about what I'm going to do next. Oh, not enough blue. So we're going to add some more blue. I like to have my colors be symmetrical. If I have blue on the right side of the canvas, then I like to have a little bit on the left. Now, here are the strips of paper towel. And I take that spray bottle of water, it's off camera, but I'm just spraying the bottom of it. And now I'm going to dip it. There's that black. This is Mars Black with wood conditioner and glue in it. And I'm just dipping it in and doing a swipe across the colors. Wow. You can't see it, but there is a ton of lacing. And I'm doing the top now. I'm trying to pull more of the blue, because actually when the blue mixed with the gold and maybe that caramel pumpkin color, it made a really gorgeous green. There, you can see the green there. And at this point, I'm starting to think that I'm swiping too much. It doesn't look like an organic line to me, especially on the bottom. So I'm torching a little bit to get some air bubbles out. That also encourages the colors to come up and sell. Okay, even though I liked the swiping, I kind of missed the lines of color. So I'm adding some more lines. That was the blue. And I'm going to try that swipe again. I want more blue. That looks really pretty to me. Now when I swiped this last time, I didn't dip it in the black paint. It was just a wet piece of paper towel. And now I'm going to torch some more. And it's about time for me to look at the painting and say, hey, where are we going with this? What do we need to do? I'm using a palette knife now, and it's red. It's dried paint. It's from another painting. And I'm just very lightly touching the top of the paint and moving some of the colors down. It's sort of like swiping, but right now there's no paint on the knife. And it looks like I just put a little bit of gold on it. When you turn the palette knife on its side and add color, it adds a super thin, delicate line. And that's what I'm trying to do. I really think at this point I overswiped, and I'm missing the really vibrant lines in the paint. So I'm adding some more color. I really like a little bit of vibrant color in the paintings. And now I'm dipping the palette knife. It looks like that's the Van Dyke brown. I noticed towards the bottom of the painting, which is really the top for you, it just doesn't look like it has much color. That's where a lot of the cells are, and I just want to add some more vibrancy there. Basically, I'm redoing a painting. I made a pair of paintings, probably not with as much swiping as this, but they were a pair of paintings that were turquoisey blue and brown and gold, and I really liked them, except I didn't mix the base paint well enough, and unfortunately it dried with obvious lumps in it. Now, when I say it like that, obvious, I mean it looked like there was a Braille alphabet on the background painting. Now, some paintings I can get by with a few bumps and I can just call it texture. And it's fine once the painting is sealed and varnished. But unfortunately, these paintings just, I don't even think Dr. Pimple Popper could have taken care of them. They were that big. So I wanted to redo with the same colors and be super careful with the base paint and make sure it was mixed up. And now I'm swiping it again because I want to mix a little bit of the colors that I've put on it. And this is where I needed to stop. Probably the hardest thing once you start painting is to realize when to stop. Again, I'm having my little break in thinking and doing some torching to decide what the heck are we going to do with this painting. I'm still playing with the palette knife. I have hopes there. And what I'm doing really is putting some color into the gold. I'm literally moving colored paint into the gold. And I'm telling you, I like the top part. This bottom part, just no, I don't like it. It looks too stripy. Don't like it. So we're going to take a popsicle, well, it's a tongue depressor, and off camera, I'm going to scrape all of the paint off on the bottom. Once I've got all of the paint off on the bottom, I pour more base layer to cover it. You can see there, that's base paint that I'm pointing out that I've poured. And now I'm just going to be touching up. I'm literally taking the palette knife and dipping it in the Mars Black cell activator. Now I'm swiping with the palette knife. And I'm literally spreading cells onto the painting. As I get finished, I will take the camera down off the tripod and show you what I'm seeing. This is probably one of my most frustrating things is I'm making this really cool painting and you can't see what I see. I'll keep adding colors to it, and then I do decide to blow a little bit with my mouth. So here you have another technique. It's sort of a Dutch pour because I'm blowing. It's been a swipe. I used a cell activator when I normally never use anything other than Floetrol and water. I'm absolutely thrilled with the final product. Here you are looking at it right side up, and you can see the blue and the black, a little bit of gold. There was some mixing there. I didn't intend for there to be green, but it happened that way. And there's more blue on the other side. See how it's symmetrical? And look at that lacing up there. Incredible, right? I love that the gold kept its shine. When I tilted the canvas to scrape it, it created that dip at the horizon, but it is not right in the middle. So that's how you're supposed to do a painting. Nothing in the middle. Thank you for joining me this afternoon when I broke all the rules and added a cell activator and tried to put 2 or 3 different techniques in the same painting. I really enjoy the final product, and I hope you do too.